When you think of Dragon Ball Z video games, you think of Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi. These are easily the #1 Dragon Ball Z fighting games. But which one is better? I'm going to pin both of them head to head. Hello everyone and welcome to Anime Culture. In today's video, it's going to be Budokai versus Budokai Tenkaichi. Now this is the Budokai the entire series and Budokai Tenkaichi the entire series. Now if you see my top 3 video, Budokai 3 is easily my favorite. It's my all-time favorite Dragon Ball Z video game. That is because pure nostalgia. So I'm going to take my bias out of this and really put them head to head as a whole, as a series. So we're going to first start off talking about Dragon Ball Z Budokai the series. The Budokai series was developed by DIMPS, a Japanese video game development studio. DIMPS is known for their work on other various fighting games and has been involved with the Dragon Ball Z Budokai series since it started. And they have also been involved in Dragon Ball the Xenoverse video games. Now there's actually 10 games in the series, I would guess, give or take. There's Dragon Ball Z Budokai, which was released 2002. There's Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, which was released 2003. Then there's Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, that was in 2004. Then you have the PSP, the Shin Budokai Another Road. And then you have Burst Limit, which is on the PS3, and Infinite World, which was kind of a weird one that was still on the PS2 and came out same time the PS3 had its game. And then you have Dragon Ball Evolution, the game, which... ugh. And then you have Dragon Ball Z Budokai, the HD Collection. So quite a bit in that genre of the Budokai series. Now what makes the Budokai series so popular? Well, it's a faithful adaptation. I mean, the series is known for its anime story, and particularly the first Budokai game, which covered events from Raditz to Cell, allowing players to experience the story as if they were actually a part of the actual anime. The gameplay that is featured in Budokai is a traditional fighting experience with a mix of punch, kick, and ki blast buttons, along with the ability to teleport, fly, engage in beam struggles, which resonated well with a lot of fans. For me, I loved all the beam struggles and all the great moves like the Kamehamehas and the Final Flash. Just they were awesome to do in the game. The visual style of Budokai is actually really good. Now, Budokai 1 doesn't hold as well today if you go back and play it, but it's still a great game. Now, Budokai 2, despite being mixed in its reception, was noted for its improved visual style, and the gameplay was obviously a little better than the first installment. And the games, of course, were commended for its presentation. They captured the essence of Dragon Ball Z and, of course, stayed true to the source material. For me, the Budokai series was a lot of fun because I enjoyed that fighting style. You were kind of limited in your range of where you could go, and I enjoyed that. Now I'm going to discuss Budokai Tenkaichi. They have 3 games, Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3, and then you had Raging Blast 1 and 2, which I believe is considered part of the Budokai Tenkaichi experience. And of course there's a new one coming out with Sparking Zero. The Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series is highly regarded for several reasons. The extensive character roster being #1. This game has been praised for having the biggest selection, the vast selection of characters, including transformations, variants, which provided a comprehensive Dragon Ball experience. I think another thing that made Budokai Tenkaichi so popular was the gameplay mechanics itself. The gameplay is often highlighted for its in-depth and authenticity to the anime. So it features things like destructible environments, intense beam struggles, and a combat system that feels impactful and true to the Dragon Ball series. The Budokai Tenkaichi series let you kind of just go wherever you wanted. I mean, there were limits in the map, but you could fly around as you fought. It also offered a lot of diverse gameplay. The series offered various modes such as Story Mode, World Tournament, and Battle 100. Of course, that just adds to its replayability. Its visual and audio was amazing. The game also was acclaimed for their graphics and sound design, which felt pretty closely to the look and the feel of the anime. And the Budokai Tenkaichi series was developed by Spike. And they're known for also creating some other games in the Dragon Ball series. And of course, the #1 Budokai Tenkaichi game was Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and mainly because of its extensive roster of over 160 playable characters. That's insane to think about. So what is the difference between the two? Between Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi? The main difference between Budokai series and Tenkaichi series is their gameplay mechanics and presentation. The gameplay style in Budokai games are more akin to any kind of traditional 2D fighting game with added 3D elements, such as sidestepping, dashing, and so forth. Players face each other and use combo-based inputs to execute special attacks. That part I really like. Whereas in contrast, the Tenkaichi series offers full 3D movement and combat, with each character having an independent view and a lock-on targeting system so you could follow your opponent. Your special attacks will be executed very simple. Now, I like that and I don't, and I'll get into more of that in a little bit. The Budokai series was developed by Dimps, which I already stated earlier, while the Tenkaichi series was developed by Spike. So each series obviously having a totally different game engine that contributed to its overall gameplay experience. The biggest obviously is character roster and items. The Tenkaichi series obviously is known for its extensive character roster and the use of items that primarily boost character stats. The Budokai series also has a variety of characters and transformation, but it uses its capsule system for equipping special attacks and items which affect the strategy of a character's setup. And the other big difference between the two is cinematics and storytelling. The Budokai series generally has better storytelling. That's why I've always liked the Budokai series somewhat a little more, and it provided a more immersive narrative experience. The Tenkaichi series, while it may not focus as much on cinematics, obviously it makes up for it in its gameplay variety and large roster. So which one is the best out of everything we know now? For me, the best of the series is the Budokai series. While I love that Budokai Tenkaichi has a huge roster and you have this freedom of flying around, at times I find myself losing my opponent and can't find them, or I'm attacking underwater and then I'm attacking above water and don't know where anyone is. While that's a very small nitpick, to me it's why I really like the Budokai series better. Also, I love the storytelling. I'm big on the Dragon Ball Z story. No matter how many times I play the games, and every time the story is the same except for Xenoverse, I don't care. I still enjoy it and I still want to relive the same exact story. And I think that's what I really appreciate about the Budokais, because they really focused on that story. Now, it's not to say Budokai Tenkaichi series isn't fun. I really enjoy that series, but for me, the Budokai series was the best. And especially when it got to Burst Limit, I really enjoyed Burst Limit over the Raging Blast, which was a great series as well. I enjoy it being a little bit more difficult to do a special move, and it feels more rewarding than just pushing up in circle or R1 in circle and having the move done for you. So I think that's why I also have enjoyed the Budokai series over the Budokai Tenkaichi. But this is just my opinion, and I think Sparking Zero is going to change that completely. But what do you guys think? What is your favorite in the series? Is it the Budokai Tenkaichi? Is it mainly because of the roster? Or do you enjoy the fighting style of the Budokai series? Let me know all that in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, please do me a huge favor. Like this video, share it, and make sure you subscribe. Until next time.